twisting dream. I'm made up in me.
Hey guys, so I thought I would sit down with Matt for this one because
I feel like we're on an episode of Big Brother here, guys. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
So we are 4 weeks out now, and it's the Monday of 4 weeks out, essentially.
3 weeks till we fly, 4 weeks to show day.
Yeah, and it's been a really bad day today.
I'll be honest, I just did a little story on there before. She's handled this prep absolutely amazing. We've dieted for a lot longer than we normally would due to postpartum, being baby, and then the setup and how it worked. And she's handled it extremely well. Now, for anyone that's competed, especially at the top level, being pro as well, it's tough. And I'm usually there whinging with her or doing all the whinging. Yeah. And this time I'm eating 5,000 calories and she's been starving. And this is the first day you've actually cracked it.
And I feel very aware of my whinginess because, like, I hate whinging about something that essentially is a choice. So I am super aware that every time I'm whinging in my own head, I'm going, I shouldn't be feeling like this, but I am. So like today, for example, like just woke up feeling so tired.
You got your cardio done first, and early, come home, you looked like you had some energy, and then you did some work and went downhill pretty quick.
So like energy at the moment's like this, like I'll be like, woo, down, woo, down. And I think what sometimes like keeps me going is like just being busy, but then that's also exhausting in itself. So training is usually not an issue for me, but today like my body just, it's not even my body feels tired. It's more mentally fatigued from it, and I just cracked the shits. And I did do my session. I just did a hybrid of it, sort of more machine and less volume. And then I'll go back and do cardio this afternoon. Like, regardless of how I'm feeling, I'm still getting the work done, which is obviously all that matters. But, you know, I feel bad for Matt because he is on the receiving end.
I was just like, you know, any partner, I'm like, no, we've got this. And she was concerned about, because the plan ahead, and we've got that under control. And then I'm like, hang on a second, are you questioning your coach? And then Luke as well, like, we know our shit, especially Luke. I'm like, you got this. And then I could see she's just in her head, and it didn't matter what I said. I was just like, all right, I just need to, because she's just in that mood, and I've been there. It doesn't matter what I say.
And nothing
she's
was
like, nah.
And it's not even like I'm hungry obviously, but I'm not like at the point like
just off it.
I'm not gonna be like overeating, because at the end of the day, overeating would only lend itself not to getting me to where I want to be. So, you know, it's like, it's just, you're just in a shit mood.
Yeah, off it. That's how I say it. Just off it. Doesn't matter what, just off it, you know?
Yeah. So this week I've actually incorporated something different into my cardio, which is just like a cardio hybrid session.
High intensity sort of.
So it may be a little bit more fatiguing, but I'm going to take that on the chin and just fucking do it, because I need a bit of difference outside of, yeah, just putting my legs around on the bike.
It's pretty tough. Like, when you think about a prep over a 20-week period, it's been a bit longer for Em.
Same thing every day.
And you're consistently doing cardio, and as you get more and more, fat loss progress starts to slow, output increases, and it's the same shit. It's a bike, it's a elliptical trainer, it's steps, it's Stairmaster. It does get really boring. When Em's doing 2 sessions a day, so she does fast early in the morning, not the fast is more optimal in fat loss, but fast in the morning, because that works really well before Lou gets out of bed, and then you go back in the afternoon.
So it's so much easier to do a split thing instead of doing like 60 or 70 minutes straight, which would really suck. And I'd lose intensity halfway through, so it would be less effective. So obviously our setup at home is, in terms of work and what we do, is ideal for this, because we can have the opportunity to split it. But I do this for most of my clients anyway. Like, they just get up in the morning, they do it, and then after work or after their training, they do the rest of it. Okay, so what's the next step then, boss?
Next step at the moment, we're going to liaise with Luke today, tonight, tomorrow. We've been told that Em's there in terms of condition, and that's where they want her, which is awesome. Both myself and Luke were probably thinking a little bit leaner, but that's the look they want, so that's fantastic. So we're at the position now, and we'll talk to Luke. We'll probably diet the next week or 2 weeks a little bit longer, nothing silly, just to get her a little bit, this is always the plan, a little bit leaner than she has to be. So then last 2 weeks leading the show, especially I'm going to pack up, travel with Luna, head over to the States. She can just have a little bit more food and feed back in the show. So there'll be some high days there, I'd assume he's going to put in. We'll back off cardio to more of a reasonable amount to bring stress and fatigue down, and put a little bit of food back in until we pretty much just playing, I think, with the look until we're like happy. So it's pretty, it'll be almost go past slightly to come back to that look, then maintain, which will be, I'll leave that up to Luke how he's going to structure that.
And calorie wise, we've changed it this week because I was finding that the consistent low calories was really doing my head in, because like you don't really have anything to sort of look forward to, and I know during prep you don't really have much to look forward to in terms of like higher calorie days for some people, and obviously like so many preps are different, but personally like I think I would do better, and I am going to do better on like a few low days and then a higher calorie day. Not really back at maintenance, but just enough. So essentially across the 7 days, my calories have dropped from 2 weeks ago. So they're now at what, 1,300
calories lower,
yeah, 1,300 7 days a week. But we've changed it so I have like 3 lower, so at like 1,200, and then we have pretty much just 1,700, I think, if that works out. 1,650.
So 1,650. So that's, I always do it, I've always prepped that way. I think it's the best. Consistency, some people are like, oh look, I just want consistent calories, but when you're in deep in a prep, like Em said, and it's tough and you're on, for Em, 1,400 calories, and you're like, that's it for the next 3 weeks. Like mentally, it's hard to accept that one, especially on the weekend. During the week's all right because you're so busy. So how we do it is, like Em said, we work out the average of calories across the week, and we're going, okay, we'll drop your lower days a lower, and then I'll leave a high day. So essentially we're depleting for 2 days, and before it gets to that hurt stage, it's like push carbs back in, which is a little bit of a high day, even though it's not technically that high. No. For Em, it's like, she's like 2 days to work hard, hurt, and then you get carbs coming in, which is going to be a high.
So we're going to do 3 and then 1.
Just this week, because it works out where you want to train.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to put my higher calorie day on a legs day.
Yeah, it's a big legs day session with Justin. So
yeah, and I'll show you guys what I've been doing with my food. I have so many vegetables, so much salad. I've changed majority of my lean protein sources to fish, just because it's higher protein and less calories and less fat, like Matt said. I do have one of my Fit Fuel meals still in there just for dinner because it's delicious. But I've actually I have Karaji chicken in this. So I've made my 1,200 calories. Actually quite substantial. Like it's not like 3 meals. I think I've actually fit it into five sittings.
Snackings.
Yeah, snackings, which is better for me.
I think sometimes that is a smart option. Although it's like,
you're not really getting a lot, yeah.
But it's like mentally, you're like, oh, I get to eat again, as opposed to like 3 meals. Can you imagine how quick? You're like, that's it, I've got to wait till tomorrow to my next meal.
And the thing about training is that because we have loons, we have to usually train earlier. So in an ideal picture, I would have rather trained like midday, because that would have been like first meal, train, second meal around like 3, and then my last meal at like 7.
Yeah, so you fast that morning period.
But because of loons, I do like to try and eat before I train, because I do get a little bit
snappy.
hangry. And my blood sugar is a little bit low in that session, especially I don't want to like wake up fasted, do cardio again, depleting, then train. So that's putting myself at not a great place.
Yeah,
so
especially when your blood glucose has been pretty low. So obviously being as lean as she is, blood glucose levels are going to be quite low. So
yeah, so I have my meal before I train. But it just goes to show it's like a constant tweaking. Like I don't think I've ever been like, this is it and it's worked. Like everything changes. Like some days I feel fantastic, some days I feel rubbish. And this week is just going to be really consistent with food types. I'm actually feeling a lot better on like the fish sit show. A bit better for my belly. And then yeah.
That's it. It's so close now. Like I think
for
Em it's hard when you're in her position, because you're like, that's 4 weeks is a long time, but really it's 3 weeks, a week for us as busy as we are, like they go. Before you know it, it's like the weekend again, and you're like, shit, it's another week down. So she's so close, and it's by far the best you've looked to date. In the past, Em has been like, pulls right in that skeleton face, and it gets to the point where it's like, unfortunately, just with her structure, but it's not too bad at the moment. And I put that down to the way we've prepped this time. She's done everything perfect. It's just been consistent preps, the consistent drops. We've taken our time with it, so it's been a longer prep, as opposed to being aggressive at certain stages and aggressive with cardio. It's just slowly.
Like obviously right now is quite an aggressive amount of cardio.
But we didn't just go from 30 minutes to 7. It was like 30, then 5, 40. it's like slowly add up as calories come down, outputs increase a bit.
And mentally, I think it's worked better because at the end of the day, it, like Matt said, it didn't go from like 0 to 100. It went from like 30 minutes to 40 minutes, then increased to 50, then increased to 60.
And there was quite a while, I'd even say maybe 4 weeks that we spent on 1,500 calories. So we stayed at 1,500 calories for ages. We upped output. So we tried to get as much fat loss as we could out of 1,500 calories to the point it stalled. And we're like, well, we'll give it another week. Let's just see, maybe stress, fatigue, inflammation. She was just under pump. And then we're like, okay, now's the time when we're going to have to go down to 14. So it's just how you're just slowly tweaking things and how she responds.
But we've also had diet breaks in between there. So we had Bali, then I had refeed on Luna's and your birthday. So there's been spaces in between, obviously, where we've incorporated little bits of higher calorie days. Like, I know I've already talked to Matt about this, but in hindsight, like looking back, I wish that we had more structured refeeds in that sense, like so that I would know, okay, you got 2 weeks, then you have like 2 higher calorie days, then you have. Because I think I've become a little bit complacent towards the end, not in terms of like I'm not doing the work, but I'm not doing it to 120% of what I should be doing. But that's also like because I'm just slow and tired.
Yeah, energy's low. Yeah. Body's in conservative mode.
So I've just been just lying down and napping as much as I can, obviously.
Which isn't that often.
It isn't that much at all. But I got another cardio session
coming up. I've got to pick Luna up. But yeah, how's the posing going though?
Yeah, it's much better. So this time I've actually been working with Toby.
Yeah, it is, but how much have you been doing it?
Yeah, I've been doing a little bit.
She's up the ante on the posing. So.
But I do, it's a lot better than it ever has been. Like probably last time I probably practiced like 4 or 5 times during the prep itself.
Yeah, it was every time it was Anne-Marie she made the pose, which is good because it made it do it.
But now it's a different style of posing. Than what I'm used to. It's just a little bit more flowy and I know my routine. I've been practicing when I'm getting out of the shower and getting in the shower and do my teeth, so I'll be there with it. I just gotta
get your hair done this week as well.
Get my hair done, all the things, got my bikini.
Bikinis arrived.
So I got hair dye this week, extensions in next week.
Then we go. It's 1 week to
pack
up and go, yeah.
But I'll show you guys what I've been eating and how I've been structuring my meals, and that will be essentially tomorrow for you guys. And then we'll do a bit of a physique update. All right, cheers. So my first meal is some Weet-Bix, plant protein, fruit, and then I'll put some almond milk in there, and that is my breakfast essentially. So this may look like a stupid little meal, but it's just my little bit of sweetness in the day. It's just a rice cake with some hazelnut spread. Yum. Alright, so my ability to film today's meals really went out the window for whatever reason. But I've had 2 of these meals, so it's just a bit of mahi-mahi fish, so 100 grams with some delicious salad and some of my dressing that I put on there. And that is 2 times amount. This is my second last feeding. Oh, pretty much my last actually. Yeah, my last. So it is actually one of the samurai meals that I've just added like a heap of salad to and about 200 grams of vegetable underneath there, and then it has some rice there. It is a good time, isn't it?
Yeah.
What?
Why have you got rice?
Because it fits into my macros.
No, it's only meant to come from vegetables.
Well, it is.
No carbohydrates.
I'm going to update you guys while I'm walking, getting my steps in, because this is the reality of prepping with a 13-month-old. She has been very energetic all day, and I have not been, but I'm making a big effort because obviously she doesn't know that I have low energy. So in terms of prep and what's happening now that I've reached essentially the conditioning that I need, as in the body fat levels, we are going to practice some peak weeks. So that means that we're going to do the rest of this week low calories at the 1200 that I've been doing. And then we'll have 2 high days on the weekend at 2000, all extra calories going to carbohydrates. And that's obviously going to be coming from like my rice and my toast and a little bit of jam, but not too many sweet things, because the more sweet that I have, the more that I want. So I'm just going to keep it mostly savory meals, what I've been doing with my fish, my chicken. And yeah, keen just to see how my body looks on Monday. And then we will revise and adjust and do it again next week, essentially. So I'm excited for this new approach, because usually I just diet all the way into the show without doing any high days or reverse dieting back into it. I haven't really told you guys what cardio and things I've been doing, so I ended up getting up to 70 minutes a day of cardio, splitting it 30-40, so 30 in the morning, 40 in the afternoon, or 40-30, depending on what I would do in the morning, which was a lot easier on my body instead of doing 70 minutes straight, which is obviously hell. And it's worked a lot better because I can maintain intensity through that session instead of losing intensity and it not being worth it by the end of that 70 when I'm flogged. So, and I've also periodized that in the way that on upper body days I'll do more of like a elliptical, stepper, maybe. I've rarely done stepper this time. I've also done a lot of bike and recumbent bike, like this sort of lazy bike, because it's just felt better and I can push more intensity through my legs when I'm doing the recumbent bike. But yeah, it's individual, hey, like there's not like one type that's going to be better. It's just a trial and error to see what is going to work for the individual. And I like cycling through, as in like Monday I do bike, Tuesday I do elliptical, keeps it a bit fresh, because prep can be very boring at times, obviously. So changing it up that way. I've done 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, depending on what weeks and what we're trying to achieve. But yeah, we've dialed it back now to 60 minutes, so that's just a 30-30 split. And yeah, I'm keen to dial it back even further, obviously. So we talked this morning about peak week and what that would look like. Obviously, it's all like very flexible. So depending on how the next week go in terms of mock peak week and adding carbs back in and then going back down low again and then bringing them back in again, we'll see how peak week changes, because obviously you want to be able to get the conditioning and then maintain it. So I'm really excited. Like, it's just been a nicer approach this time. Last prep, so obviously you build on each prep, right? Like, she's trying to escape the back. You build on each prep. Each prep. What are you trying to do? Each prep gets better in terms of your awareness in your own body and what works and what doesn't. So this has been better in terms of I haven't done as much cardio, although 70 minutes seems a lot. Probably last time we were doing a lot more for a lot longer, and really pushing conditioning a lot more, or what I thought, but I'm actually leaner this time around with doing less. So there you go. There you go. Yeah, it's been a good experience.
What I made for the fam: banana muffins, no refined sugars. Tell me how it tastes. This is going to be a test for me because
Alright.
I'm going to count how many muffins
this is
I
a good
have.
sign
So I
straight
don't.
away. It doesn't stick to the base. That means it's a bit mush, not too dry.
They're not too good. They're good.
Yeah, texture's good, consistency's good. Are these protein or are they just?
No, they're just normal. No. I
They're
should.
good.
Cool.
I'm impressed.
And I'm really digging Matt's new haircut.
Maybe it'll grow some more hair. Is that anything in that?
So, to end this YouTube, I'm cooking my dinner now, which is Karaage chicken again, and my vegetables. Today, Matt would agree with me that I've been in my head a lot. Still, I've put a lot of pressure on myself, but we'll get there. I'm gonna have a better sleep because last night was awful because I had pre-workout very late, so lesson to all of you, don't have pre-workout at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It never ends well. But yeah, if you like these videos and you want to keep seeing them, and next one will actually be a interview that I did with Belinda, who is a competitor of mine. So I'll be putting that up after this one. And then we'll pretty much be doing like a peak mock peak week. So I will film all of that and the process of it and what I've been eating. So that'll be cool to watch. So like, subscribe, comment. Thank you so much.